President Donald Trump once left his son, Donald Trump Jr., stranded on a tarmac after he was 5 minutes late for a flight. The president's first wife, Ivana Trump, wrote in her book, Raising Trump. Ivana referenced the anecdote when describing a key feature of Donald and the rest of the Trump family that she learned when she and the future president began dating. The entire Trump clan arrived exactly on time, she wrote. I learned early on that they were punctual to an extreme. For them, on time meant 5 minutes early. When Donald arrived in a boardroom or took his seat on an airplane and the door closed, that was that. She continued, if you weren't on the inside, the meeting or the flight would start without you. Donald once left Don Jr. standing on the tarmac for being 5 minutes late to the airport. Hey guys, it's Margarita Yang back with another video for you today. Showing up on time for everything is very, very important. If you do not see the direct connection between showing up on time and your personal finances, believe me, the connection is definitely there. I swear if you show up on time consistently for all the activities and the meetings that you have with people in your life, every single time, then opportunities that you would have only dreamed of will open up for you. I have always known logically the importance and the significance of showing up on time for everything, but it wasn't until this year, now that I'm on the hiring side of things and I'm hiring people, paying people to do things, that I realized just how important it is and how many people do not show up on time. Let me explain to you why it's important to show up on time from an employee standpoint, and then I'll explain to you why it's important from the employer standpoint. So, I used to work for a local grocery store, and every employee at this grocery store was making minimum wage. I had a coworker, and he lived right across the street, literally from his front door to the front door of our store was like a 10-second walk. And he never showed up on time. He was always 5 to 10 minutes late, sometimes 15 minutes late. And he always seemed to have some sort of excuse for being late, but because he lived right across the street and we could literally see out the window that he was walking in our direction, he could never use traffic as the excuse for being late. But he always had a reason, okay? And I believe that he has some sort of mindset where if this is how little that he's going to get paid, then this is how little effort he's going to put into his job. And if he was offered more money, then he would put more effort into his job. And I think a lot of people will fall into this pattern. If this is how little you pay, this is how little effort I'm going to put into my job. Now, there's that kind of mindset you can hold on to. There's a different kind of mindset, which I can explain at the end of this video. Now I'm on the hiring side, okay? Hiring people to help me out, trying to delegate because I've become very busy. A couple months ago, I decided to hire a private piano teacher. I had been practicing from using an app called Flowkey for a few weeks, and I decided, you know what, since I've been practicing for quite a bit, time to commit to an actual teacher that can help me progress even faster because, it'd be much faster for someone to show me the ropes rather than trying to learn from various resources off the internet. So I hired a teacher to come. She came to my home and she was charging $75 an hour, okay? $75 an hour to come to my home to teach me piano every week. And she only showed up for half of our sessions, okay? She canceled half of them on the day of the session. And then on the days that when she actually did show up, she showed up 15 minutes late. Now, for the first time you're coming to my home, I understand if you're 15 minutes late because you're not very familiar with the route or what the traffic would be like at this time of the day. But, after the first time, you don't really have that kind of excuse. You have to leave a little bit earlier from your first experience. And after she was late the third time, I just basically said, you're fired, okay? I don't care how well somebody can play piano. I don't care how well they can teach piano. If they're not going to be punctual, if they're going to just always be late, I will not pay you, okay? You're not worth paying for. This is the kind of mindset I've decided to adopt because I'm a very busy person. And as I try to fit various activities in my day, if I'm late for just one activity because someone else was late, then that basically means that the rest of the activities I have in the rest of my day, I will also be late for. And Honestly, that's very rude because if I have a meeting with someone after I'm done with you and I'm late to that one, I come across as the person who is rude to their time. Does that make sense? So if you're the kind of person that's just always late, after a while, you don't get the opportunity to make money from me. You're off the list, okay? I would rather pay someone more who is actually going to be punctual. So how much should I pay now? I pay $95 an hour for private piano lessons. And in fact, I'm the one going to my teacher's home. But the fact is, when we are ready to start exactly at 2 o'clock, I'm there at 1:58, by the way. We start at exactly 2 o'clock. We're ready to go, okay? Our session needs to start right on time because I need to respect her time. She needs to respect mine, okay? She needs to have her lesson plan ready. She can't be all frazzled and go like, oh, I'm not ready, let me get settled or whatever. No, we can't have that. We need to start on time. This year, it wasn't just the experience I had with this $75 an hour, very, very flaky piano teacher. It's a $30 an hour graphic designer and a whole bunch of other people, and I just realized, nuh-uh. And now I can kind of see why, Donald Trump and the Trump family, they just do not tolerate tardiness. For them, 5 minutes early is on time. And if you cannot start on time, we start without you. Because these people who have money and they have power in our society and they get to make decisions that can affect your career. If you ever meet a CEO, he or she is very busy, right? These people are very busy and you need to respect their time. And those are the kind of people that are going to give you the opportunity to further progress in your career and make money and make sure that your personal finances are all taken care of. So let's say you're in the same position as my former coworker, minimum wage, dead-end job. How exactly should you approach this kind of scenario? How do you avoid viewing it as, if this is how little you're going to get paid, then this is how little effort you're going to put into the job? Well, if you really want to progress in your career and move ahead and move out of that dead-end minimum wage job, one of the first things you need to practice and do is view this job as just a training ground because it's a very low-stakes environment. If you're late, nobody seems to care. Your employer has a very difficult time finding people who actually will want to show up on time, show up with a very happy attitude, making $8, $7 an hour. Show up on time every single day and view it as training for the big day. And what is the big day? The big day is the one day you might meet somebody who has the power to make decisions that actually affect your life. It could be a CEO, could be a business owner, could be an HR manager. And if you've developed the kind of reputation as the person that always shows up on time, that person who's always reliable, you never know who might give you that next opportunity that can really turn your life around. And I just want to give you an example. This is one of the things that people should say about you. And apparently I didn't know people had this kind of view of me until one day I showed up late. I was working at Domino's and I had been on time up until that one day. That one day I remember I was more than 4 minutes late because I had forgotten my hat at home and they require you to wear the Domino's hat at work. So I turned around, walked back, and I had to go get my hat. And when I showed up at work, my manager was like, Annie, I was freaking out that something had happened to you. And I was like, what do you mean? I just forgot my hat. I had to go get my hat. And he said, well, I looked at the clock and it was 10:04. And usually you're here at 10 o'clock on the dot. And so when I saw that it's 4 minutes into your shift and you're not here, I thought something went wrong, maybe you got kidnapped on your way to work, and I was freaking out, and I was telling Selena, hey, I think we need to call the police, okay? So this is the kind of reputation you need to develop even if you're working a minimum wage job. That apparently was the kind of reputation I had amongst my coworkers at Domino's. So this is how you view your job. View it as training for the big day, whatever this big day is, because whenever this big day comes, you've developed the habit of always showing up on time that it just comes so easy and natural for you. It's just no sweat, okay? Does this concept make sense to you? If it makes sense, You need to start today. You need to start making this change today. Show up on time. Set the alarms on your phone. Make sure you don't double book or overbook your day. Make sure you have enough time between your activities to get there on time. Okay, start making the change today. And after a few years of doing this, you don't know what your life will look like, okay? So if you enjoyed today's video, I highly appreciate it if you go on Amazon, buy my book, 1001 Ways to Save Money, Quit Flushing Your Hard-Earned Money Down the Toilet. This is the way you financially support my channel while I try to keep sponsorships to the ones that I genuinely like, and I don't push products on you that I don't believe in. So I really appreciate it if you buy my book. Give it a thumbs up if you thought today's video was inspiring and helpful. Share it with your friends. And subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications every time I publish a new video. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.